goodness, I can hardly believe it. 10 days of juicing, 40 days on this journey, 30, nearly 40 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoy this episode. It's a long one. Hi again, I'm back. Yes, I'm back. And I'm here for, I think, June the 10th. I don't know what day it is. June the 10th. So it is the 10th day of my juice fasting. So good. I've really enjoyed it. After water fasting, anything's going to be a great thing, isn't it? So that's what we're going to be looking at today. What has been happening with the juice fasting? Okay, so that is where we are right now. And again, yes, you can see me looking down at the controls while I film. So let's start. Body. Have a look. Yay! So that's what things are. I feel better, and you'll see with the numbers that I know that things are going in the right direction. It's sad but true. I've really missed juicing. I did juicing before, as I've told you. So I'm so glad that I'm back on this. I feel so much better, more energized, and my body moves so much better. But that doesn't mean I won't water fast again. I'm sure I will do that again because I enjoy that. And sometimes you go through this stage where you are not feeling juice. Do you know what I mean? So I will water fast again during this period and in during my life, the same as juicing. Like juicing is not forever, but I will definitely juice throughout my life. But I can just say that my body feels so much better while I'm juicing. So, what's next? Lifestyle. Green, 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 green. Green for the juice fast. Yes. It's been it's been a pretty easy 10 days. I know that's because of the water fasting prior to this. So I'm not going to say the first 10 days are easy because I've juiced before, and the first 10 days are far from easy. But it's been quite good for me, and I'm still drinking lots of water, and that was a good thing in terms of doing the water fast because I still have my big bottles and I drink a couple of those, 2 to 3 a day, not as many as I drank before because I also have the juice in it. Yes, I understand there's going to be a lot of people who don't necessarily agree with fasting, and I've provided the information that influenced me, and it's not meant to influence everybody. But for me, I want to kickstart my weight loss, and I know there are other people who have more weight to lose than me, similar weight to me, but I just think for me, I want to kickstart this weight loss, and I also want the juice to afford me the time to look up food and eating, and particularly different types of food, because I have to think about the fact that I move around the world a lot, and not everything is easily available. It's easy to say have kale, have this and that. Do you know how hard it is to find kale in some countries and how expensive it can be to find those things in some countries? So I'm using this time to learn about foods that I know that I'm not as familiar with, which I think will be helpful for me when it goes forward. Um, like I said, it's juice at the moment. That doesn't mean I won't water fast again, which I've said before as well, because trust me, when you're on a solid food vacation and you can't bear the thought of any more juice, water fasts do help. And when I'm ready, I don't have no time limit on it. It could be another 10 days, it could be another 20 days. I think I'm thinking around 60 if I can make it, but I'm not going to push myself past where I want to be. And that will be enough of a kickstart to learn about Indonesia and maybe some other foods. And then while I'm getting used to foods here and how I eat here, I'll also learn about wherever I'm going next. Who knows where I'm going next? But I'm thinking Africa, so I've got to learn about fruit, veg foods there as well. So that's it, right? I think when it comes to lifestyle, I have done some exercise this time. I've got more to report on the exercise front. I was going to record a clip, but the thing is we have 50 minutes, and so like I kind of get in, get out, and I'm trying to do the 10,000 steps. So I managed 3 last week, and then I've done 2 so far this week. There's only Friday and Saturday and Sunday left, so I have to at least get in one more time then, and then da-da-da. So that's it for lifestyle, and let's get on with the numbers. No more scales. Well, not no more scales. They'll be back. They'll be back. But for those of you who have been following me, some since the beginning, some very recently, hi, you'll notice that there's a difference in the way the numbers are being presented. I'm now doing measurements. I decided that at the end of May. At the moment, I'm thinking I weigh in on a monthly basis, and I think for me that will be more motivating, and I have a lot less, my expectations are a lot less when it comes to what I expect to see in a 10-day period. So I'm going to focus on my body changes. As much as I love, as much as I love the details in my scales, I'm not a fan of weighing in. So that's the reason that I've decided to do these things. But as you can see, it's half an inch or an inch off different places, which is much more than I expected because I weighed in on the 30th of May. I will say, though, that weighing it is so much easier than taking measurements. It takes so much more time. But I don't miss the scales, and I'd rather do this every 10 days. I think it's more inspiring and motivating for me. So for those of you who likes the numbers and things like that, they'll be back at the end of June. But until that time, we can just celebrate the inches. So I'm very happy with that. Up next is the expert, and I've chosen Jason Vale because I mentioned him before. He was the first person I followed or his plan, 7 pounds in 7 days. No, yeah, I think 7 pounds in 7 days we started with, and then we went into the turbocharger life, which was like 14 days. But those 2 weeks really helped me. Hi to the people in Tanzania because we did that together. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna get some information from him, and I'll talk a little bit more when we come back in the update. So over to you, Jason. Just a little about the history of juicing before we get into the videos. Juice fasts can be traced back over 5,500 years to an annual ritual of bodily detoxification and spiritual preparation known as Panchakarma, which is part of the practice of Ayurvedic medicine in India. Ayurveda is a traditional system of healthcare that dates back to about 3,500 BC. Its name is Sanskrit for science of long life. The second major influence on the popularity of juice fasts in Canada and the United States is naturopathy, which is an approach to healthcare that developed out of the natural healing movement in Germany and North America in the late 19th century. Naturopathy emphasizes prevention of disease and recommends non-invasive treatments that rely on the body's own self-healing power. Juice fasts are an important part of naturopathic dietary therapy. The third factor that has contributed to interest in juice fasts since the 1970s has been the widespread adoption of vegetarian and vegan lifestyles. Two subgroups of vegetarians that are particularly likely to practice regular juice fasts are raw food vegetarians and fruitarians. Raw food vegetarians, also known as raw foodists, are attracted to juice fasts and juicing because of their belief that cooking destroys most of the nutrients in food. The two best known proponents of juice therapy in the 1980s were Jay Kordovich, the juice man, and Bernard Jensen, a chiropractor in California. They were both raw food vegetarians.
Hi everyone, Jason here. I've got to be honest with you right from the top. I am not my usual happy camper self, and that really is what me on my juice box is all about. And actually it's something that I really didn't want to do. Normally, of course, you'll find me in a kitchen where I'm making some kind of juice or smoothie and relatively upbeat. And if I'm honest, the thing that really kicked it off was one particular post from somebody who calls themselves the fitness chef. Here's the post. It says real on the right hand side, that's liver, and on the left hand side it says bullshit, and it has my book. In other words, what he's saying is that the liver naturally detoxifies the body and juicing doesn't. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've written over 15 books on juicing health and addiction. Not once have I ever said that juicing detoxifies the body. But what he bangs on about underneath it, and this really gets on my goat, 99% of people who choose this diet want to lose weight, in brackets fat. The thing is, this diet will work if you stick to all 5 days, so you'll probably succeed, in brackets, on this diet. But what happens in the 5 days after that, 5 weeks after that, 5 years after that? Nothing. The guy can't have read the book, this is what I'm thinking, right? And then he says underneath this, what about detoxing your body? Because you know, apparently, all these toxins are the reason people are overweight in the first place. What? I didn't say that at all. These toxins constantly make people eat in a calorie surplus. What? Where's he read that? They prevent people from getting off the sofa and exercising. What? Can't remember writing that. Damn those toxins he put. Wait, what? People have a liver. I love this. The liver already works to detoxify my body. Same message someone like Dr. Hazel posted this in January. Things that detox the body: liver, kidneys, lungs, skin, colon. Things that do not detox the body: juices, cleanses, teas, supplements. I'm aware of ways to do so, then it can't do it efficiently. But anyway, the craziest part of this is that I said to him, look, his anger would be better placed against the junk food industry and maybe Big Pharma. And I said, if you actually have read any of my books, you would know long-term changes is something that I cover, because I do actually cover everything in the books. In fact, in that book, the irony is in that book, I cover in depth the word detox. There's an entire chapter in that book called Detox, What's in a Word? And what I explain is that the word detox has changed over time. If you say something going on a detox, They know what that means. That means, oh, you're going to be eating well for a few days and you're going to not have alcohol and some other junk. That's what everybody knows it to mean. So the second episode I've entitled The Greatest Magic Trick of All Time. I've seen it done over the last 20 years. It's not done by David Blaine. You think it is. It's not done by Dynamo or even by the greatest illusionist of all time, David Copperfield. No, slap a by thigh by Jibbity Ho. It has been done by the NHS. The National Health Service here in the UK have managed to pull it out the bag. The greatest illusion of all time. They should be on Britain's Got Talent. No, they should be on World's Got Talent. Here's what they managed to do. They can turn 5 portions of fruits and vegetables into 1. Actually, they can turn 10 portions of fruits and veg into 1. But it doesn't stop there. They can turn up to 100 portions of fruits and vegetables into 1 portion in a nanosecond. How do they do this? Well, if it was real magic, I wouldn't be able to tell you. So actually, they don't use magic. Do you know what they use instead? Sheer stupidity. Good news is, they give an example. If you have 2 glasses of fruit juice and a smoothie in one day, that still only counts as 1 portion. And how do they explain this mysterious disappearing act? Where do all the fruit and vegetables go when you put them in a juicer? Well, according to them, it's all about the fiber. They say, well, could you remove the fiber? It no longer counts towards your 5 portions of fruits and veg a day. Their argument is you remove the fiber, therefore it can't count as a portion. Here's the magic trick of all time. The latest research from the scientists of the ICL have shown that it's not 5 portions of fruits and veg that we need. What the study showed is if you did manage to have 10 portions of fruits and veg every single day, look at these stats. You reduce the risk of heart disease by 24%, strokes by 33%, the risk of cardiovascular disease by 28%, the risk of total cancer by a massive 13%, and overall reduction in premature deaths by a massive 31%. It wasn't even a small study. 2 million people took part in the study. So there's no question that we need to encourage more people to have more fruits and vegetables. That's why I'm on my juice box. Most people struggle with the guideline with 5 a day. So when they upped it and they said, look, you could get some real benefits, some solid benefits if you had 10 portions a day. The NHS went, well, I don't know, most people can have 10 portions a day. Somebody said, yeah, but if they put them in juice or smoothie, no, that doesn't count. No, I think you'll find that it doesn't because of the fiber. Oh, but there's fiber in the smoothies. Oh, I don't argue. The craziest part of all of this is that fiber doesn't feed the body. They know this. The professionals know this. The NHS knows this. Fiber doesn't feed the body. Fiber's there to act as a brush, if you will, to help keep things going. We need very little fiber every single day. Less than a handful to keep things moving. As well, this one, I tell you what, it's entitled Juicing Makes You Fat. I know, I've been doing this for 20 years. I had no idea that juicing makes you fat. Now, normally, I wouldn't listen to it. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't listen to it at all. But you know, when it comes from a doctor, you gotta pay attention, people. You gotta pay attention.
Look at the juicing. That's unsustainable. That's not nutritionally complete. There's hardly any protein in that.
Yeah.
All the sugar from the fruit is being released as free sugar, which is not good. You've got no fibre. Yes, they lost weight.
Let's talk
Chantel
about that, yeah.
only lasted 20 out of 28 days, and she found it hard. But she lost 11 pounds. So as a crash diet, yes, it works, but it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of evidence that juicing actually leads to weight gain later on.
Let's go piece by piece really quick. I know it's meant to be a quick Jason Juice Box. First one is, it's not nutritionally complete. Well, listen, when you do the full 28-day plan, and there's plenty of blends in there, including avocados, and there's bananas in there, and there's a plethora of different fruits and vegetables, and there's also some hunger SOSs. Even if you argued against that, we're not asking somebody to do it for longer than 28 days, then we only ask them to do it for 28 days if they're particularly overweight and sick in the first place. But you had this woman do it, Chantel Standing, and you said that we had to make sure that she was healthy before she started. Okay. Hardly any protein in that. Again, largest land animals are all vegan. We need protein from amino acids. The building blocks for protein, that's for another Jason's Juice Box. Again, it's only for a short period of time, so let's not worry too much anyway. And I've never met anybody with a protein deficiency. All the sugar from fruit is being released as free sugar. Again, don't miss the free. The sugar one, I promise, and I've been promising it, will be the next Jason on his juice box. Will be all about the sugar and fructose and all of that. Because if I had one more person, and the sugar in an apple is not the same as the sugar in a donut. I mean, why? Why am I still having to do this? If you know any juicy naysayers, if you are a juicy naysayer, Please listen up and listen hard. And this won't take long to get rid of the sugar arguments. Now, after one of the biggest studies ever into sugar, in particular, how fruit sugar and fructose affects blood sugar levels, diabetes, and glycemic index, then we've even got scientific proof to back up what I've been saying for years. Sometimes it takes science a little bit longer to catch up on common sense. You know, years ago, I wrote an article and it said the sugar in an apple is not the same as the sugar in a donut. And I remember vividly to this day, as I wrote the article, I thought, why am I writing the rest of the article? Isn't it obvious to everybody that the sugar in an apple is different to the sugar in a donut? But it turns out it isn't obvious. A series of randomized controlled trials were carried out to examine the effects of 100% fruit juice, this is fruit juice, on glucose insulin balance. The available randomized trials indicate the repeated intake of 100% fruit juice does not have any significant effect on glycemic control or measures of insulin resistance. Overall, findings from the meta-analysis randomized control test suggest a neutral effect of 100% fruit juice on glycemic control. These findings are consistent with some observational studies suggesting the consumption of 100% fruit juice is not associated with increased risk of diabetes. It is not associated with increased risk of diabetes or, in fact, obesity. Listen, when I was smoking 40, 60 cigarettes a day, drinking like it was going out of fashion, eating nothing but junk, everything else, I was covered in a skin disease called psoriasis. I had severe asthma, severe eczema. I was severely overweight. I stopped doing those things and I started to have freshly extracted juice and do some exercise. It's not rocket science. And I feel okay. I just turned 50. I feel pretty good. Fruits and vegetables, grains, nuts, seeds, lean proteins. That's what I've always said. You can't go wrong with these things. And if you can't eat them, can you drink them? And anything that discourages anybody from having more fresh fruits and vegetables, when another study will tell you that we need 10 portions of fruits and vegetables a day in order to cut our cancer risk by nearly 40%. Which towards this little 12%. And then you go, oh, well, you believe that study, Jason, but you didn't believe this study. Oh, it's very cherry picking. But the point is, we all know that fruits and vegetables are good for us. We all know it doesn't matter what methodology we have to get them in. And this is the point. They didn't do this on freshly extracted juice. And that's the thing that bugs me more than anything else. They never do it on freshly extracted cold pressed juice.
Some final thoughts. Juice fasts as a specific dietary practice have not received much attention from mainstream medical researchers. However, they have received some evaluation within clinical studies of Ayurveda and naturopathy as alternative medical systems. Part of the difficulty is that Ayurveda and naturopathy do not lend themselves easily to standard clinical trial protocol, which generally focuses on only one illness or one medication at a time rather than on multimodal therapies or the general lifestyle changes recommended by Ayurvedic practitioners and naturopaths. Finally, I would like to remind you to always seek medical advice. Questions you can consider asking your doctor include: what are the potential benefits, if any, for a person of my age, sex, and lifestyle in taking a periodic juice fast? Another, what are the potential health risks of a juice fast, if any, for me as an individual? You could also ask, what specific types of juices would you recommend for a juice fast? And ask them if they have tried any for themselves. And finally, are there any specific types of juice that you would not recommend and why? I hope you enjoyed. So that was Jason on his juice box, as he calls it. He was responding to some of the things that he's heard and people have said to him. I put it in because I wanted to talk about decisions. Basically, I know there are a lot of skeptics and people who just believe that it's unhealthy or dangerous or many other things to be doing juice fasts and water fasts. And I can see from the things that I've read, the things that I've watched, where that information comes from. But I've also seen, watched, and read things that have connected with me for me to make this choice. And I don't want to say that anyone is wrong or right, because none of us really know. There are people that I follow who have been doing this for a long time, and they truly believe in it, and they have been part of the reason I believe in it. But there are people who have shown information and given details as to why they think that this is unhealthy. Yes, it's just like most other forms of dieting and losing weight. There are success stories, and there are many, many more people who gain the weight back. Um, I'm not sure the balance of which is higher or not. That information I haven't been able to find. But I put the information in there, and I've also put some information below for people to check out for both sides of the argument, because I think it's important to have a balanced piece of information. I don't want anyone to do things or make any decisions based on my journey or my experience, because it's mine, based on my information, based on my lifestyle. And I think we can all tell that I'm no expert in weight loss. I've been up and I've been down, and let's hope this is the last time. And I know that when I come off of this weight loss, I expect there to be some gain in reintroducing food. Not much, because I'm hoping that the time that it has afforded me, as I said before, will give me the information I need to make better choices for the rest of my time in Indonesia. And hopefully when I go home, it's much easier, because I'm very aware of the food there, what's the availability there, and everything like that. And in the next country that I choose, I hope that will be the case as well. So I just want to say we all need to make our own decisions. I get so much inspiration from so many other people on their weight loss journey, and very few of them, I think only one of them is also on a juice journey. Everybody else is doing different things, and I support them. I appreciate them. I learn from them, and but I'm not expecting that they will learn from me. I'm just saying this is my journey. You do your journey, and I'm really happy for your journey. One thing that did happen, because I was just about to end it, but one thing that did happen, my mum sent me a picture, which I'll try to put in here. But this picture is of me at a smaller size, and she sent it to me for motivation, because obviously I told her I was on this journey. But I don't recognize it. I don't recognize the time. I don't recognize the place. I don't recognize the person even. Like, I've got makeup on. It must have been something really special, and someone twisted my arm, because I very rarely in my whole life have worn makeup, and especially not in the last 20 years. So it must be in my 20s. It looks like I've got tongue piercing, which I know is not true, because I've never had my tongue pierced. And I don't remember wearing earrings like that or showing my midriff or anything. So if anybody who knows me and is watching this can remind me as to when that is, please tell me, because I'm completely lost. It is motivating. I remember if like the lowest I've ever, not, I don't know the number, but the smallest I've ever been as an adult is 14 to 16. So it must have been around that time, because it looks quite fit and healthy. I know I've never been smaller than that in my 20s. So it must be around that size, and it's a good target to aim for. So it gives me a good idea. I don't know how I'll end up. As I said, I haven't chosen a number, but if I end up a similar size to that, I'm not going to look like that, because that was like 30 years ago. Do you know what I mean? 25, 30 years ago at least. But please, if you do recognize it, let me know, because I'm baffled. And at first I thought it wasn't me and my mum had put my face in on something else, but my sister says it's me, so it's me. Anyway, I think that is definitely it for this edition. As always, I babbled on much longer than I intended to. I will see you in 10 days' time, which will be the 20th of June. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing the numbers measurement-wise rather than scales-wise, because then you're going to have to wait 20 days for that. Have fun, take care of yourselves, and really do appreciate the people that have signed up and are watching me, because seeing the numbers grow has really helped me, and it does help with the accountability that I was looking for. And I'm enjoying this. So see you soon. Well, that's all for this episode. I would like to wish you all luck on your own journey. Please take care of yourselves. I apologize that it was so long, but I will speak to you very, very soon on the 20th of June. Thank you. See you. Bye.